Imagine, if you will, the slow, soft transition from the depths of a profound sleep back into the gentle awareness of the world. You are stirring now, not abruptly, but with the quiet grace of a forest creature emerging from its den. The air that embraces you is cool, carrying with it a symphony of faint, earthy scents, the deep, reassuring aroma of damp soil beneath the floorboards, the ancient woody essence of the massive timbers that form the very spine of this home, and perhaps a distant, almost imperceptible hint of a stable nearby, carrying the sweet, clean scent of hay. You are lying on what feels like a bed of straw, a simple, rustic mattress that has cradled you through the long, celebratory night. It is surprisingly yielding, conforming to the contours of your resting form. As your senses gently awaken, you might notice the subtle, almost ticklish sensation of a stray chicken feather that has somehow found its way into the dried stalks, or perhaps the smooth, cool touch of a tiny, forgotten bead nestled deep within the straw. Your body, which yesterday danced and feasted with joyous abandon, now settles into a profound stillness. The vibrant echoes of yesterday's celebrations, the laughter, the music, the boisterous shouts have softened into a distant, gentle hum, a comforting resonance in the quiet chambers of your mind, like the memory of a faraway stream. The very first sensation that truly anchors you to this moment, if you allow your eyelids to flutter open just a fraction, is the soft, persistent crackle of the hearth fire. It's not a fierce, hungry blaze, but rather a collection of deep, glowing embers holding on to their warmth with quiet determination. Each tiny pop and hiss is a steady, rhythmic whisper, a living breath from the heart of the longhouse, providing a low, enduring warmth that seems to push back against the morning chill. Smoke, thin and ethereal, rises from these embers. You can almost see its graceful winding dance as it slowly, deliberately ascends, a translucent ribbon of gray reaching towards the dark, unseen ceiling slats eventually vanishing into the vastness above. This gentle upward dance of smoke carries with it a familiar, comforting aroma, half the sharp, clean scent of ash from last night's spent logs, half the soft, earthy, undeniable fragrance of sheep's wool, a pervasive and deeply ingrained scent in every corner of a Viking longhouse. It is a fragrance that grounds you, a quiet, ancient reminder of your place in this time, in this world. It's a scent that has lingered in these walls for generations, speaking of warmth, of sustenance, of simple, enduring life. Beside you, as your awareness expands, you become distinctly aware of a steady, rhythmic breathing. It is the quiet exhalation and inhalation of your brand-new spouse, slumbering peacefully, tangled comfortably within the thick, coarsely woven wool blankets. Their presence is a quiet, reassuring weight, a new, gentle anchor in your newly joined life. You haven't quite learned the subtle nuances of their sleep habits yet. Who might snore with a soft, rumbling vibration? Who tends to unconsciously claim more of the covers? Or if they whisper ancient words of distant ancestors in their dreams. But for now, their even undisturbed breath is simply another soothing rhythm in the profound stillness of the early morning. It's a quiet companionship, a shared space where the world outside feels miles away, allowing your own breath to deepen, to synchronize, perhaps, with the peaceful rhythm of the room, drawing you deeper into a state of quiet repose. You are not alone, but the presence beside you is one of calm, unhurried peace. As the moments unfold, the gentle stirrings around you are almost imperceptible. The longhouse itself seems to awaken with a slow, deliberate yawn. You might hear the faint, distant sound of a goat bleating, a soft, almost sleepy call from its pen at the far end of the communal space, or the quiet rustle of straw as a small, unseen creature shifts in the shadows. The cold of the morning air gently touches your skin, a refreshing contrast to the warmth of the blankets, inviting you to nestle deeper, to savor these last tranquil moments before the demands of the day gently begin. This awakening is not a sudden jolt, but a slow, gradual unfurling, like the petals of a flower opening to the first light. Each sensation a soft brush against your awareness, guiding you deeper into relaxation. You are simply observing, allowing the world to reveal itself to you in its own unhurried time. 2. The sounds and flavors of a communal morning. As the light filtering through the smoke holes and unglazed windows slowly brightens, painting faint, shifting patterns on the rough wooden walls. The world within the longhouse begins its gentle stir. It is a gradual unfolding awakening, devoid of any harshness or urgency. You become aware of subtle movements, not sharp or jarring, but a series of quiet, deliberate actions, like a finely tuned machine slowly coming to life. There's the soft, almost reverent footfall on packed dirt, a muffled thud, thud, thud as the first members of the household, perhaps the matriarch or an elder, begin their morning tasks. These footsteps are not hurried. They speak of purpose and familiarity, a quiet dance across the worn earthen floor. You might hear the distant, hushed murmur of voices like soft whispers carried on a gentle breeze. They are not distinct enough to understand the words, but their presence is a comforting reminder that you are not alone in this peaceful dawning. These are the sounds of a community awakening, each voice a thread in the quiet tapestry of shared life. Then from the hearth area comes a quiet, almost musical clatter of pots, a gentle percussion of earthenware on iron, signaling the unhurried preparation of the day's first meal. It's a symphony of simple, repetitive tasks, each sound a note in the ongoing melody of communal existence, a reassuring drumbeat against the quiet canvas of the morning. As you slowly, gently sit up, perhaps feeling a slight, lingering stiffness from the straw bed, you might stretch your neck, feeling each joint protest ever so slightly before finding its comfort. Your hair might feel pleasantly matted, carrying the faintest scent of roasted meat from last night's feast, or the sweet, fermented tang of mead. As you settle into an upright position, you catch the subtle, fresh scent of porridge beginning to waft through the air. It's a wholesome, grounding aroma, a promise of warmth and simple sustenance, a testament to the enduring rhythms of daily life. Without a word, a clay bowl, still pleasantly warm from the proximity to the fire, is placed gently beside you. There's a quiet reverence in the gesture, a subtle, unstated ceremony in the offering of a humble meal. The porridge itself is thick and hearty, a creamy gray, perhaps with a few specks of coarser grain visible, a simple, foundational food designed to provide sustained energy for the day ahead. You manage a few polite bites, the taste a blend of earthiness and mild sweetness, a grounding flavor that begins to soothe the lingering echoes of last night's revelry. You nod politely as you eat, acknowledging the quiet generosity. You might observe, out of the corner of your eye, an elder, perhaps a distant cousin or a half-uncle, standing nearby. Their presence is not imposing or demanding, but simply observant, a quiet sentinel, with arms gently crossed over their chest. They offer the world's slowest, most deliberate head nod, a quiet, almost imperceptible gesture of approval that needs no words. It is a moment of silent acknowledgement, a soft, unvoiced welcome into the intricate, ancient fabric of this established household. This is not a place of hurried greetings, but of quiet, measured observation. The air is filled with the subtle aroma of coarse, dense bread, perhaps with a hint of smoked fish, and the faint, sweet scent of a few preserved berries. If the season is kind and luck favors the household, These simple aromas mingle with the ever-present scent of wood smoke and damp earth, creating a complex yet profoundly comforting olfactory tapestry. Each breath you take draws in these simple, wholesome fragrances, gently settling your mind and body further into the unhurried pace of this ancient morning. The sounds, the soft footsteps, the quiet murmurs, the gentle clatter, the scents, the porridge, the wood, the subtle sweetness, the quiet presence of others all weave together to create a deep, unwavering sense of peaceful belonging, a gentle invitation to simply be in this moment. You find yourself instinctively reaching for the offered clay cup, its surface cool against your fingertips. It holds water, clear and refreshing, a simple yet vital offering. You take a slow, deliberate sip, allowing the cool liquid to cleanse your palate. Then, perhaps, someone else offers a horn of mead. You consider for a fleeting moment declining, but then a deeper, unspoken understanding settles in. In this culture, refusing hospitality is not merely impolite. It is the social equivalent of a significant, almost symbolic rejection. So you accept and take another slow sip, allowing the mild sweetness and subtle fermentation of the mead to warm you from within. It's a quiet acceptance of the customs, a seamless integration into the flow of life here. As the morning haze of formalities slowly begins to lift, you find yourself observing the quiet interactions around you. People want to know how you slept, not out of casual curiosity, but because the answer itself is a coded message, subtly understood by all. To say you slept soundly is to convey that everything is well, that the union is harmonious. To speak of interruption might suggest a less blessed union. Yet, to say I don't remember with a gentle laugh and a slight wink, this is accepted, even encouraged. You find yourself navigating these subtle currents, a quiet participant in the ancient social dance. Outside, you hear the distant rhythmic sound of someone splitting wood, a steady thud, 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 each strike a testament to enduring labor. A child chases a chicken past the open door, their delighted squeals a burst of youthful energy that quickly fades. The world moves on quietly, steadily, and for you, it is all just beginning. As the communal morning begins to unfold, the air in the longhouse takes on a different kind of quiet. A sense of anticipation, subtle yet palpable, seems to settle over the space, like a gentle mist that slowly drifts through the room, touching everything with its soft presence. Your gaze is drawn, almost instinctively, towards the flickering, dancing light of the hearth, the very heart of this home, where the matriarch, a figure of calm authority and deep-seated wisdom, now stands. Her movements are deliberate, unhurried, each step and gesture a testament to years of practiced ritual. As she prepares for a particular moment, a quiet ceremony woven deeply into the fabric of Viking tradition. Before her, illuminated by the gentle shifting light of the dancing flames, rests a length of linen cloth, its surface appearing smooth and almost luminous in the dimness. It has been freshly laundered, perhaps by hands that have performed this very task countless times, and its pure white surface seems to absorb and reflect the soft glow. You can almost feel the rough, honest texture of the woven fibers beneath your fingertips, a testament to the simple, durable craftsmanship of this ancient time. Each thread, each tiny, almost imperceptible imperfection in the weave, is made subtly visible by the wavering light, telling its own silent story. It is a humble piece of fabric, yet in this specific moment, it holds a quiet and profound significance, a silent witness to new beginnings. The matriarch reaches out, her hands, weathered by years of labor, wisdom, and the rhythm of daily life, moving with a practiced ease that speaks of deep familiarity. She grasps the corners of the cloth, her arms extending slowly, deliberately, as if she is about to unveil something precious, something ancient and deeply revered. And in a very real, quiet way, this is the very linen that lay beneath you and your spouse last night. A silent testament to the bond formed, now held up for quiet, shared observation by the household. A hushed silence descends upon the longhouse. It's not a tense silence that makes your muscles tighten, but rather one of collective stillness, where every breath seems to be drawn a little more slowly, a little more deeply. You might hear the faint, soft rustle of the linen as it is gently adjusted in the matriarch's hands, a whisper of fabric against the quiet air, like the soft sigh of the wind through dry reeds. Around you, the figures in the longhouse remain perfectly still, their gazes, though seemingly elsewhere, subtly, almost imperceptibly, drawn to the scene unfolding by the hearth. There is no overt staring, no dramatic gasps of anticipation, just a collective, unspoken acknowledgement of a deeply ingrained tradition. This moment is not about judgment in the modern sense, not about a sudden revelation, but rather about the quiet act of tradition being upheld, a gentle confirmation of the new bond that has formed within this ancient community. You might feel a subtle shift in the air, a very faint, almost imperceptible tightening, like the brief, soft stillness just before a gentle, quiet rain begins to fall. It's a moment suspended yet flowing. The matriarch studies the fabric with a calm, discerning gaze, her eyes, perhaps a little crinkled at the corners from years of looking keenly at life, moving slowly across its surface. It's as if she is reading ancient runes inscribed upon its very threads, deciphering a silent message only she can fully understand. Her movements are deliberate, unhurried, reflecting the deep-rooted, almost sacred importance of this quiet act, a link in an unbroken chain of generations. She is not seeking drama, not looking for a sudden pronouncement, but merely quiet confirmation, a gentle, traditional nod to the continuity of family lines and the enduring cycle of life. After a moment that seems to stretch and expand, encompassing the entire longhouse in its quiet weight, she exhales a soft, satisfied grunt. It is a sound barely audible above the gentle, rhythmic crackle of the fire, yet it resonates with the quiet finality of a deeply rooted truth, a confirmation whispered by the ancestors themselves. It is a sound of simple acceptance, of tradition upheld, of the natural order confirmed. She then folds the cloth, slowly, meticulously, smoothing each crease with a gentle, practiced care, as if tucking away a precious document or a sacred relic. This gentle folding, this quiet conclusion marks the end of this particular ritual, allowing the energy of the room to subtly shift once more. The judgment, if you could call it that, has been rendered, not with a grand flourish or a loud declaration, but with a quiet, affirming nod. Your union, observed and acknowledged by the subtle fluids of life and the ancient folklore of ages, is now gently endorsed, becoming a part of the longhouse's living history. No one cheers, thankfully. There is only a subtle, collective softening, a slight relaxation in the shared air, like a wave receding from the shore. It's as if a quiet breath that was held collectively is now gently released, and the gentle, unhurried rhythms of the longhouse can flow unimpeded once more. You might hear a faint, distant hum begin again, or a quiet sigh of contentment ripple through the room, a collective exhale of shared understanding. The subtle tension dissolves, leaving behind a pervasive sense of peace and a quiet acceptance of what is. With the quiet conclusion of the previous ritual, a sense of gentle movement begins to return to the longhouse. The attention within the space subtly shifts, like a slow turning of the tide, pulling you towards the next stage of this unfolding day. You are now subtly, politely, but with a clear sense of purpose, guided away from the main hearth, the heart of the home, towards a quieter, more intimate space. Perhaps you pass through a curtain of dried herbs, their brittle leaves brushing softly against your skin as you move, releasing their faint, earthy fragrance into the air. A sense of subtle cleansing as you transition. You find yourself in a side room, or what passes for one in this vast communal dwelling, a quieter, more contained space that feels somewhat set apart from the general hum of the longhouse. Here, the light is softer, more subdued, cast by the gentle, mesmerizing flicker of 3 small stone lamps. Their flames dance slowly, their light muted, casting elongated, shifting shadows that stretch and sway across the rough-hewn wooden chests and the neatly stacked piles of linen that line the walls. The air in this more intimate space carries a different, more intricate scent. The delicate, soothing aroma of dried lavender, subtly mingled with the richer, more grounded, almost savory scent of mutton grease. A testament to both meticulous household care and practical sustenance, a blend of the beautiful and the essential. In the very center of this room, bathed in the soft flickering light, stands a low, sturdy table. Its surface is not empty, but carefully and deliberately arranged with a collection of trinkets and household items. Each item is a silent testament to the wealth and history being exchanged, a tangible link between families. You see brooches, their metal surfaces gleaming dully in the lamplight, hinting at untold stories of their previous owners. Various knives rest beside them, their blades catching the light, simple tools for daily life, pieces of cloth, meticulously folded with care, suggest the artistry of weaving hands. An array of tools, their shapes hinting at the daily labors they perform, lie neatly placed, and nestled among them, standing out with a quiet dignity, is a very neat, almost ceremonial stack of silver rings, their polished surfaces catching the light in a muted gleam, holding the promise of future generations. This entire collection, you understand, is the mund and filia, the bride price and the dowry, the tangible expressions of this new, significant alliance between 2 families. Now comes the next quiet performance, the dowry inventory. This is not a hasty glance or a quick tally, but an official, methodical accounting where every item given and every promise made is quietly and deliberately confirmed. You hear the calm, clear voice of an aunt, her tone steady and unhurried. She points with a gnarled finger, tapping each of 3 intricately carved goats on a wooden ledger board, her voice even and precise. 3 goats, she states, her tone leaving no room for question, just a simple statement of fact. Then, her voice continues its even rhythm. 2 sacks of rye, followed by 1 bronze arm ring from the eastern coast, value high. Each item is called out, its physical presence confirmed, and its economic value quietly acknowledged. It is a process that is both simple in its execution and profoundly important in its implications, laying the deep, unyielding economic foundation for this new union. You might find your eyes glazing over slightly around item 14. As the methodical counting continues, the details blurring into a soothing drone. Yet, your spouse beside you seems oddly focused, their gaze tracing each item, perhaps making their own quiet mental tally, considering the precise balance of what was given and what was received. There might be a brief, quiet debate over a specific item, perhaps whether an iron pot, delivered complete with its accompanying lid, counts as 1 item or 2 in the tally. It's a moment of gentle negotiation, a small example of the meticulous attention to detail that governs these ancient transactions. Someone might offer a dry, understated joke, its humor subtle and perhaps not quite landing, creating a momentary, almost imperceptible ripple in the quiet air, a brief moment of shared human awkwardness. Another might simply call for a drink, a subtle signal to continue the flow, to maintain the unhurried rhythm of the process. You realize that you are not just a person here. You are, in a very real and practical sense, a part of the assets on a table, being measured out loud, a valuable piece within a larger economic landscape. This methodical counting was not unusual in Viking society. Marriages were, at their core, legally binding economic deals. And should the marriage ever end, for Viking divorce was indeed a recognized and practiced reality, each party needed to know precisely what was owed, what had been contributed, and what was to be returned. Property was not just vast tracts of land and herds of cattle. It extended to every tangible aspect of daily life: shirts, looms, tools, and even the precise fate of the household dog, all meticulously accounted for. Eventually, the inventory reaches its quiet conclusion. The family members nod their approval, a collective, silent affirmation of the ledger's accuracy and the agreement's completion. The chest is then carefully locked, its contents secured, holding within it the tangible history of your new life. The key, for now, is quietly handed to your spouse, a small, tangible symbol of their new role, their new responsibilities within the household. You step back into the main room of the longhouse, blinking slightly as your eyes adjust to the brighter, more expansive space and the dancing, lively firelight. The day is still remarkably young, yet you have already had your very being quietly evaluated in one ritual, your possessions meticulously counted in another, and your reputation softly shaped by the discerning, knowing eyes of the matriarch and elders. And the strangest thing is, you are still just beginning. There is a sense of something profound, yet utterly mundane, unfolding around you. The world of the longhouse continues its ancient, unhurried pace, a relentless but peaceful rhythm. And you, a new thread in its vast, intricate tapestry, are learning, moment by quiet moment, to move with its unwavering flow. It's a journey into the very heart of a different way of life, one gentle step, one quiet observation at a time, each leading you deeper into the ancient rhythms of this new existence. As the subtle hum of the longhouse settles back into its familiar rhythm, a rhythm as old as the earth itself, you find yourself drawn towards a particular corner. It is a discreet recess, almost an indentation in the vast wooden wall, that offers a profound sense of contained quiet within the sprawling communal space. You are guided, not by explicit instruction or a whispered command, but by the gentle, almost imperceptible flow of daily life. Perhaps by a soft, unspoken gesture from your new spouse, whose presence beside you is a quiet comfort, or simply by the intuitive understanding that arises naturally from observing the household's unhurried routines. You approach what appears to be a curtained alcove, a small enclosed space built intimately into the very structure of the longhouse, almost as if it were carved directly from the ancient, gnarled timbers that form its very foundation. This is your new bed closet, a private sanctuary, however minimalist, in a world where personal boundaries are often fluid, yet deeply understood and respected through ancient custom and unspoken agreements. The very first sensation that greets you as you draw near is the faint, rustling whisper of the coarse wool curtain as your hand reaches out, almost automatically to part it. The fabric itself is thick and heavy, woven with a density designed specifically to block out both the lingering, diffused light from the central hearth and the ambient sounds of the longhouse, creating a perfect cocoon of intimacy and quietude within its sturdy folds. You can feel the distinct, honest texture of the rough spun wool against your fingertips, a sensation both simple and profoundly grounding, connecting you immediately to the natural, unadorned materials that form the very essence of your new world. As you gently push aside the curtain, it brushes softly, almost caressingly against your body, a quiet, reassuring sound like the soft sigh of the wind through fields of dry grasses. This movement, however slight, releases a faint, earthy aroma of lanolin, the natural oil of the sheep's wool, a scent that is both primal and comforting, and perhaps hints of dried herbs, subtly crushed, that have been intentionally woven into the fabric for their soothing scent and protective qualities against insects or ill spirits. The light within this small enclosed space is noticeably dimmer than the main communal area, a gentle, perpetual twilight that immediately fosters an immediate sense of quietude and introspection, a peaceful retreat from the world outside. Stepping inside, your feet sink ever so slightly, with a pleasing give, into the fresh, clean layer of straw that has been thoughtfully laid down for the bed. You can feel the distinct crisp crunch and the yielding give of the dry stalks underfoot, a rustic carpet that offers both essential insulation against the cold, hard earth beneath, and a peculiar, unexpected softness, a surprising comfort. Over this initial layer of straw, a substantial mattress, likely filled with dried bracken or more tightly packed straw, provides the foundational layer for your rest, promising nights of deep, unbroken sleep, a slumber free from the anxieties of the past day. The air within this enclosed space carries a distinct and utterly comforting scent, the earthy freshness of newly laid straw, mingling subtly yet powerfully with the rich primal aroma of old rustic animal hides that form the thick blankets that will cover you, and perhaps even the protective lining of the closet itself, offering another layer of warmth and security. It's a scent that speaks profoundly of warmth, of shelter, of endurance, and of a deep, ancient connection to the natural world. This unique combination of tactile sensations, the rough wool, the soft straw, the smooth hides, and pervasive smells. Lanolin earth, animal immediately envelops you in a sense of simple, profound warmth, a feeling of being safely tucked away, protected from the vastness of the longhouse and the expansive world beyond its sturdy, ancient walls. It is a feeling of being held, of being secure. You look around this small, enclosed world that is now uniquely yours, or rather, uniquely shared with your spouse. Within this intimate space, an old, sturdy wooden chest sits open, its heavy, iron-bound lid propped back, waiting patiently to receive your few personal possessions. This is where your most cherished, most familiar items will find their new, designated home, becoming anchors in this unfamiliar yet welcoming landscape. You begin the slow, deliberate, almost meditative process of arranging your belongings, one by one, allowing each object to connect you to your past while settling into your future. First, perhaps, you draw forth a carved comb, its smooth wooden teeth still carrying the faint, comforting scent of your previous home, a small fragment of your personal history, a tangible link to where you came from. You place it carefully, gently, into the chest, hearing the soft, almost imperceptible click as it settles against the aged, resonant wood. Then you reach for a small coin purse, its soft, supple leather worn smooth from years of handling, its familiar, reassuring weight comforting in your palm. You set it down with a soft, almost inaudible thud, another small sound swallowed by the deep quiet of the closet. Next, you unroll a meticulously folded tunic, perhaps embroidered with patterns that tell of your lineage or a specific family motif, or you retrieve a small pouch containing herbs gathered from your homeland. destined for brewing soothing teas to ward off the chill or to aid in sleep. Each item, whether mundane or precious, is a small piece of your former life finding its precise, destined place in this new chapter. Each gentle placement, each soft sound as an object meets the bottom or side of the chest, is a meditative act, a quiet ritual of integration and acceptance. There is no rush, no urgency, no sense of being pressed for time. This is a moment of quiet settling, of slow and peaceful integration into your new domestic sphere, a calm absorption into the fabric of this household. You are not just unpacking items, you are unpacking memories and expectations, carefully placing them into the comforting context of your new existence. The simple, repetitive act of organizing these small, familiar objects into this new, shared space fosters a profound and lasting sense of security and belonging. A feeling that this place is truly yours. It is a quiet, unspoken declaration that this small enclosure, this bed closet, is indeed a sanctuary, a private haven within the bustling, vibrant life of the longhouse, where you can retreat, find solace, and simply be safe and content. The air in this small space begins to feel truly like your own, imbued with the quiet stories of your collected life, a peaceful repository of your journey. Emerging from the quiet intimacy of your bed closet, a space now imbued with a newfound sense of personal belonging and serene privacy. You step back into the main body of the longhouse. Here, the communal life of the day is now in full swing, a constant underlying hum of activity, a vibrant yet peaceful drone that signifies a thriving household. The light, though still soft and diffused by the smoke holes that dot the ceiling, feels a little brighter now, more expansive, casting elongated, shifting shadows that dance and stretch across the packed earthen floor with the subtle movement of bodies and the gentle flow of air. This is where you will truly begin to meet, or rather to observe and subtly integrate with, the new faces of your extended family. They are not strangers in the cold, detached sense, for you are now bound by ties of marriage and custom, but a collective of individuals whose lives are now inextricably linked with yours, a vast, intricate web of kinship and shared purpose that stretches back generations. As you begin to move slowly and thoughtfully through the longhouse, your gaze, now accustomed to the subtleties of the interior light, falls upon figures deeply engrossed in their morning tasks, each person illuminated by the shifting light of the central hearth, where the fire continues its gentle crackle, and the occasional fleeting shaft of sunlight that manages to pierce through an open doorway or a narrow crack in the ancient timbers. You notice, for instance, the blacksmith, a sturdy, powerful figure, his broad shoulders silhouetted against the fierce golden glow of his small, dedicated forge at one end of the vast hall. The rhythmic, almost mesmerizing sound of his hammer striking rhythmically against hot iron is a steady, almost hypnotic beat, a foundational rhythm of the household, a constant, reassuring pulse that underpins the entire day's activities. Each clang is deliberate, measured, a testament to deep skill, immense patience, and an unwavering dedication to his craft, shaping raw, stubborn metal with quiet, focused power. You can almost feel the subtle vibrations traveling through the packed earth floor, a low, persistent thrum that resonates deep within your own body, connecting you to the very ground beneath your feet and to the ancient craft itself. There is no urgency in his work, no frantic, hurried pace, just a consistent, unwavering dedication to the ancient art of metalworking. Each blow a quiet act of creation, a steady building of something useful and enduring. Further along, near a large, rough-hewn wooden vat that dominates its corner of the longhouse, you might observe the woman in charge of the curds and whey. Her movements are calm and fluid as she stirs the creamy contents of the vat with a long wooden paddle, her arms moving in slow, continuous circles, a seemingly endless meditative task that demands both strength and a gentle touch. Her pensive gaze is fixed on the swirling liquid, a look of deep concentration and quiet contemplation, as if she is communing directly with the very process of transformation, understanding its subtle nuances and guiding it to perfection. Her focus is absolute, a silent devotion to the ancient, vital art of food preservation, ensuring sustenance and well-being for the entire household throughout the seasons. You might even catch the faint, subtly tangy aroma of fermenting milk and fresh whey, a delicate scent that speaks quietly of industry, of nourishment, and of the continuous life-giving cycle within the longhouse. As you continue your gentle, unhurried walk through the longhouse, you are undertaking a silent tour, an unhurried observation of this living, breathing community that is now your home. The light footsteps you take on the earthen floor are almost absorbed by the pervasive, soft sounds of the household, creating a sense of quiet grace in your movement, as if you are floating. You feel the cool, dry earth beneath your feet, a comforting, a grounding connection to the very ground this ancient home is built upon, a profound sense of deep stability. You are not rushing, simply allowing yourself to drift, to feel the vibrancy yet serene calm of this small, self-contained world. The sounds of everyday life weave together into a harmonious tapestry that gently envelops you, the soft clatter of wooden spoons against earthenware bowls, the distant bleating of sheep from their enclosures at the far end of the longhouse, the gentle, almost imperceptible whisper of a spinning wheel as someone works patiently at their loom, weaving new cloth for garments or blankets. It is a symphony of quiet industry, a testament to a life lived in profound harmony with the natural world and, most importantly, with each other, each person contributing to the collective well-being. Occasionally, as you pass, your gaze might meet someone else's eye. There is no need for lengthy introductions, no expectation of effusive greetings or forced pleasantries. A simple small nod, perhaps accompanied by a fleeting, gentle smile that crinkles the corners of their eyes, is all that is offered and all that is expected. This is a language of subtlety, of unspoken understanding, where a glance, a slight tilt of the head, can convey volumes of acceptance and recognition. Sometimes a faint whispered greeting might pass between you and another, a soft hail, or a quiet good day that is barely audible, almost a part of the ambient air itself, a gentle acknowledgement of shared space and shared existence. These are not grand declarations or dramatic pronouncements, but rather quiet acknowledgments, small, understated confirmations of your presence and your gentle acceptance within the group. These simple interactions, yet imbued with deep acceptance and belonging, are like tiny, strong threads, quietly weaving you into the vast, intricate tapestry of this extended family. There is no pressure, no feeling of being scrutinized or judged, only a pervasive sense of quiet inclusion, a gentle, welcoming invitation to become one with the natural, unhurried flow of their lives. The longhouse itself seems to hum with a quiet, resonant welcome, a deep, comforting vibration that settles within you, confirming your new place in this peaceful ancient world, a place where time seems to slow, allowing you to simply exist within its quiet embrace, a silent, willing participant in its timeless rhythms. As the morning progresses, the longhouse, once softly stirring with the gentle awakening of its inhabitants, now begins to resonate with a more profound, unifying hum. This collective sound carries a quiet sense of anticipation, a prelude to a central daily ritual. The light, having gradually strengthened through the smoke holes above, one now casts a warmer, more defined glow, illuminating the dust motes that dance in the air like tiny ethereal spirits and noten caught in the golden shafts. You sense a subtle shift in the communal rhythm, a drawing inward, as if an invisible thread is gently pulling everyone towards a singular focus. A new, rich aroma begins to subtly permeate the air, steadily growing in intensity, promising not just food, but warmth and deep, essential sustenance. This is the unmistakable ancient scent of the communal meal taking shape, a quiet, inviting whisper that beckons all to gather. Your senses guide you, almost instinctively, by the magnetic pull of warmth and scent, towards the heart of this unfolding scene, the central hearth, the very soul of the longhouse, where the fire, now reduced to glowing embers, continues to radiate a steady, comforting heat. Suspended above these embers hangs a massive iron cauldron, its surface deeply blackened and burnished by generations of use, a silent testament to countless shared meals that have sustained this lineage. The fragrance emanating from within its depths is complex and utterly grounding the earthy sweetness of various root vegetables, perhaps plump carrots, sturdy turnips, or even the subtle sweetness of parsnips, softened and made tender by hours of patient, slow simmering. This aroma mingles seamlessly with the more robust, savory tang of cured meat, a faint hint of smoked ham or salted fish, each fragment slowly lending its profound, robust flavor to the evolving stew, creating a symphony of wholesome goodness. The air immediately surrounding the hearth is thick, almost palpable, with these wholesome, nourishing aromas, a powerful promise of simple yet profound nourishment that will warm both body and soul. You hear the soft, continuous, bubbling murmur of the stew within the cauldron, a gentle, rhythmic sound that is both deeply soothing and tantalizing, hinting at the hidden depths of flavor and the slow alchemy of cooking. The occasional resonant clatter of a heavy wooden ladle against the cauldron's sturdy rim, or the soft scrape of a well-worn wooden bowl being carefully placed on a nearby rough-hewn table, adds distinct, harmonious notes to this quiet symphony of preparation. Each sound a gentle invitation to the impending feast. Around the hearth, the diverse members of your new extended family begin to gather, not with a frantic rush, but with a natural, unhurried flow, like tributaries quietly merging into a powerful, serene river. They settle onto low, sturdy wooden benches, their surfaces smoothed and darkened by countless sittings, or simply find comfortable spots on the cool, packed earth. Their postures relaxed, their movements economical and deeply familiar. This is a sacred moment of communal gathering, a designated pause in the day's continuous activities to share in the collective bounty of the household, a time of quiet connection that transcends words. As you find a place, perhaps allowing yourself to sit beside your new spouse, whose familiar presence is a quiet anchor in this new world, or near a quiet elder whose gaze is gentle and welcoming, filled with the deep wisdom of years. A bowl is silently, gracefully passed to you. It is a simple wooden bowl, perhaps carved by hands long gone, its texture well-worn and smooth from countless hands, its surface still radiating a pleasant, comforting warmth from its proximity to the fire, a warmth that seeps into your palms, a tangible link to tradition. The stew within is thick and hearty, a dark, rich broth laden generously with tender, yielding chunks of root vegetables, their earthy colors muted by the long cooking process, and small, flavorful pieces of meat or fish, their textures tender and easily broken apart with your spoon. The visible steam, rising in delicate, swirling tendrils from the bowl, carries the full, intoxicating force of its comforting aroma, inviting you with every breath to partake fully, deeply in this shared nourishment. You raise the wooden spoon to your lips, taking your first slow, deliberate spoonful. The taste is profoundly grounding, reaching deep into your very being, a sensation that resonates with ancient truths, the mild, almost sweet notes of the thoroughly cooked vegetables. Their earthy flavors softened by the heat, blend perfectly with the subtle saltiness of the preserved meat, and the deep, rich, earthy essence of the broth itself. All these flavors combine to create a taste that is both wonderfully simple, unpretentious, and deeply satisfying. A flavor that speaks directly of the land, of honest labor, and of the enduring cycle of seasons that dictates life here. Each bite is savored, not rushed, a testament to the profound value of food in this world and the arduous effort required to produce and prepare it. Around you, the sounds of eating are soft, intimate, and rhythmic, the gentle scraping of wooden spoons against the inner curves of bowls, the quiet, contented chewing, punctuated by occasional, low murmurs of satisfaction, a soft sigh of contentment or a brief, knowing glance. There is little overt conversation, for this is primarily a moment of shared nourishment, a silent communion with the food itself and with each other, a bond forged in quiet consumption and mutual dependence, a shared horn of mead or ale, its surface smooth and cool is passed around, its contents cool and refreshing, a pleasant contrast to the warming stew. You take a slow sip, feeling the slight tingle of fermentation on your tongue. The subtle, lingering sweetness a welcome complement to the savory meal, a taste of celebration and camaraderie. This shared act of eating, this quiet gathering around the hearth, reinforces the profound sense of community within the longhouse. It is a moment of shared sustenance, a primal reminder that in this world, everyone contributes, and everyone shares equitably in the bounty, fostering a deep, unspoken sense of mutual reliance and belonging. The warmth of the food spreads slowly, gently through your body, a pervasive, comforting heat that settles deep within your bones, contributing to a profound sense of well-being, security, and an undeniable sense of belonging, a quiet anchor in your new life. You feel fully present, fully absorbed in this timeless ritual. As the communal morning meal quietly concludes, and the last lingering spoonfuls of stew are savored, leaving behind a subtle, pleasant aftertaste, a distinct yet gentle shift occurs in the vibrant atmosphere of the longhouse. The sounds of eating diminish, fading into the background, replaced by the soft, almost musical clatter of wooden bowls being collected and carried away to be meticulously cleaned. The air, though still holding the lingering, comforting scent of the meal, begins to subtly lighten, to feel less dense, marking a gentle transition from the nourishment of the body to the productivity of the afternoon. You feel a gentle, almost imperceptible pull, an internal nudge, guiding you back into the purposeful, ongoing flow of the day, a return to the continuous, unhurried rhythms of daily life that define and sustain this ancient household. Your awareness expands naturally beyond the immediate, comforting circle of the meal, reaching out to encompass the various corners of the longhouse where the afternoon chores are gently unfolding. Each task a vital, interconnected thread in the intricate fabric of their enduring existence. You might notice, for instance, a group of women gathering near a collection of unspun raw wool, still slightly coarse and bearing the faint, natural scent of the sheep, and an array of sturdy wooden spindles. Their hands are already beginning the meditative, age-old work of spinning wool, transforming raw fiber into usable thread, the rhythmic, almost hypnotic hum of the spinning wheels, a soft, persistent drone, fills a portion of the longhouse, creating a constant, soothing backdrop to the day's activities, a lullaby of industry. You can almost visualize the raw fibers being drawn out, elongated and twisted with precise, practiced movements into fine, strong threads, a slow, meticulous magic unfolding before your eyes. The women's faces are calm, their expressions deeply focused, their gazes fixed on the seemingly simple yet complex movements of their hands. As they draw out the fibers, their movements are precise and economical, born from countless hours of dedicated practice and generations of shared knowledge, passed down quietly from mother to daughter. Their work is a quiet testament to patience, diligence, and an essential part of creating the robust clothing, warm blankets, and sturdy ropes that provide warmth, comfort, and vital utility for the entire community, ensuring survival through harsh winters. The sight of their hands, moving with such practiced grace and quiet purpose, is itself profoundly soothing, a visual affirmation of continuous quiet productivity and the enduring skill of the human hand. Further along, perhaps near one of the larger sturdy workbenches built directly into the side walls of the longhouse, its surface worn smooth by years of use, you observe the men preparing tools. The sounds emanating from this area are distinctly different from the spinning. More resonant and metallic, the soft rhythmic rasp of a sharpening stone moving back and forth against an axe blade, a precise metallic whisper that speaks of readiness, precision, and the constant need for prepared implements for hunting, building, and defense. You might hear the gentle diluda muted thud of a wooden mallet against a piece of timber, shaping it for a necessary repair to the longhouse structure, perhaps a new roof beam, or for a new construction. Each blow deliberate and well-aimed, guided by foresight. There is no frantic haste in their movements, but a steady, deliberate pace, each action carefully considered and executed with practiced skill and deep understanding of the materials. They might be honing the keen edge of a carving knife, smoothing the worn handle of a hoe to prevent blisters, or carefully inspecting the intricate lashings on a fishing net, ensuring its integrity for the next venture onto the vast, unpredictable waters. Their hands, strong and calloused from a lifetime of honest labor, move with the quiet confidence of extensive experience, ensuring that every tool is in perfect working order for the immediate tasks of the day or the adventures of the morrow. The air in this specific section of the longhouse might carry a faint, clean scent of freshly cut wood, mingled with the subtle metallic tang of iron, creating a subtle, honest aroma of industry, craftsmanship, and constant preparedness. As you continue to observe, allowing your senses to absorb the intricate nuances of this ancient, self-sufficient life, you might become aware of the children moving amongst the adults, their quiet activities woven seamlessly into the larger tapestry of household life. They are not idle, nor are they simply playing without purpose. Even the youngest are learning by keen observation and gentle, guided participation, absorbing the lessons of their elders. You might see a small child diligently sweeping stray bits of straw from the packed earthen floor with a miniature broom, their movements clumsy but earnest, their tiny hands clutching the handle with serious determination, mimicking the purposeful actions of the adults around them. Another might be carefully sorting dried berries or nuts into separate baskets, their small fingers working with intense concentration, learning about resources and order. Their quiet chatter, soft and infrequent, blends seamlessly with the ambient sounds of the longhouse, never rising to a disruptive level, a gentle murmur of nascent life and learning. They are learning the rhythms of responsibility, absorbing the fundamental lessons of self-sufficiency and communal contribution from a young age, preparing for their future roles within this enduring society. Their presence adds a subtle layer of life, continuity, and quiet hope to the scene, a quiet promise of future generations carrying on these same enduring traditions, ensuring the survival and prosperity of their lineage. The entire atmosphere within the longhouse during these afternoon hours is one of focused serenity. There is a pervasive sense of purpose, a collective understanding of what needs to be done. Yet it is utterly devoid of tension or stress. A calm, almost effortless industriousness that comes from generations of practice. Each individual seems to move in harmony with the others, their tasks interconnected, their efforts contributing silently yet vitally to the collective well-being and survival of the household. The sounds are constant but gentle, the soft hum of the spinning wheels, a continuous lullaby, the rhythmic rasp of the sharpening stones, a steady whisper of readiness, the occasional bleat of an animal from its nearby enclosure, a reminder of their vital role in providing sustenance and materials. The distant murmur of voices like a low, comforting tide that gently ebbs and flows through the hall. The light softens further as the afternoon wears on, casting longer, softer shadows across the floor, deepening the sense of quiet intimacy and inviting a deeper sense of peaceful contemplation and quiet introspection. You are not compelled to join any specific task immediately, but rather invited to observe, to absorb, to simply exist within this rhythm, to let it wash over you like a gentle wave. This is a time of quiet immersion, of learning by gentle osmosis, as you become little by little an intrinsic part of the continuous unhurried flow of a Viking longhouse. It is a profound sense of belonging, of being exactly where you are meant to be. A quiet, reassuring presence in a world built on simple, enduring truths and the unbreakable cycles of nature and community. This rhythm, you realize, is not just about work. It is about life itself, unfolding with a steady, peaceful grace, inviting you to simply be and to become. You feel a gentle sense of peace settling over you, a quiet knowledge that you have found your place, a tranquil contentment in this ancient, thriving home. As the long afternoon hours gently recede, giving way to the soft descent of twilight, the vibrant hum of daily chores within the longhouse begins to subtly diminish. The rhythmic thud of the blacksmith's hammer grows quieter, eventually fading into a hushed stillness. The soft, incessant whir of the spinning wheels slowly ceases, and the murmurs of children at their quiet tasks become almost imperceptible. A profound sense of tranquility, deep and encompassing, begins to settle over the entire communal space, as if the very air is exhaling a long, contented sigh. The ambient light within the longhouse, once a soft, diffused glow filtering through the smoke holes, now undergoes a gentle, mesmerizing transformation. It deepens into a rich, amber hue, painting the rough-hewn timbers of the walls and the packed earthen floor with soft, elongated shadows that stretch and dance with quiet grace. This golden illumination, growing steadily warmer, comes predominantly from the central hearth, where the embers, though still radiating heat, now begin to glow with a more intensified, captivating brilliance, casting a comforting, pulsing heart of light in the gathering dimness. This gentle shift in light and sound signals the arrival of the evening, a time when the demands of physical labor quiet down, and the rhythm of the longhouse turns inward, towards connection and reflection. It is the time for storytelling around the hearth, a timeless tradition as ancient as the fire itself. You find yourself drawn, almost irresistibly, towards this central beacon of warmth and light, pulled by an instinct deeply rooted in human history. As you approach, you notice the family members, those who have spent their day in various labors, now slowly congregating around the hearth. They don't gather with haste or loud clamor, but with a quiet, unhurried grace, settling onto low, worn wooden benches that encircle the fire, or simply finding comfortable spots on the cool, yielding earth. Their bodies, though weary from a day of honest toil, seemed to relax completely, their expressions softening, ready to receive the solace and joy that shared narratives bring. The faint crackle of the fire, now more pronounced in the quieting longhouse, becomes the soft rhythmic underscore to the unfolding evening. A voice begins, low and resonant, perhaps that of a revered elder whose face is etched with the wisdom of many winters, or a seasoned traveler whose eyes hold the glint of distant horizons. It is a voice that carries the weight of history and the lightness of imagination. The stories shared here are not merely entertainment. They are the very threads that weave this community together, connecting generations, preserving knowledge, and imparting subtle lessons. You close your eyes, allowing the voice to wash over you, its gentle cadence creating a soothing balm for your mind. You begin to envision the scenes being described, perhaps a daring journey across tempestuous seas. The creaking of a longship's timbers and the biting spray of the waves becoming almost real in your mind. Or perhaps it's a tale of ancient gods and goddesses, their divine struggles and triumphs unfolding in vivid, mythic grandeur, their exploits echoing through the timbered hall. You might hear of heroic battles, not recounted with terrifying urgency but with a measured cadence that speaks of valor and loss, the clang of steel muted by the warmth of the fire. Or perhaps it's a simple, comforting folk tale, a parable of cunning animals or resilient villagers, whose struggles and small victories reflect the everyday realities of life, offering gentle wisdom. As the narrative unfolds, the words weave intricate tapestries in the canvas of your mind, painting vivid pictures with each carefully chosen phrase. You can almost feel the biting wind on the ocean, taste the salt on the air, hear the distant cries of seabirds. You imagine the weight of an ancient axe in a warrior's hand, the rough texture of a sheep's fleece being spun into yarn, the warmth of bread fresh from the oven. Each detail, though imagined, feels profoundly real, grounding you deeper into the world of the story. The atmosphere in the longhouse deepens with each passing moment, becoming a shared space of collective imagination. The quiet murmurs of the audience, the soft sighs, and the occasional gentle rustle of cloaks become part of the narrative itself, enriching the experience. The fire continues its gentle dance, its golden light playing across the faces of the listeners, illuminating their expressions of awe, wonder, or quiet contemplation. The shared breath of the gathered family creates a subtle, comforting rhythm, a silent testament to their collective engagement. This is not just a passive listening experience. It is a profound act of communal participation, where the boundaries between storyteller and listener gently dissolve, and everyone becomes part of the unfolding narrative. The stories are not merely heard, they are felt, absorbed, becoming part of the very fabric of your being, drawing you deeper into the timeless heart of this community. As the last echoes of the evening's stories gently fade into the soft, flickering light of the dying hearth, a profound and pervasive quiet descends upon the longhouse. It is a quiet that is richer, deeper, and more encompassing than any silence you have known. The last tales have settled into the very timbers of the hall, their wisdom and adventures now part of the shared memory, ready to be recalled in dreams. The soft murmur of voices, once a comforting background, has now stilled entirely. The occasional crackle from the hearth, once a steady rhythm, now becomes infrequent, a softer, almost sleepy whisper as the embers slowly dim. The dancing shadows that previously stretched and swayed across the walls now grow long, still, and almost sculptural, deepening the sense of peaceful stillness. The longhouse, having been a vibrant hub of activity throughout the day, now prepares for its nightly slumber. One by one, the family members, Their minds filled with the day's quiet labors and the evening's enchanting tales begin to rise with a gentle, unhurried grace. There is no haste, no sudden movement, only a calm, almost meditative progression towards their individual bed closets. You observe them, their forms softened by the dimming light as they quietly retreat. Pulling closed the thick wool curtains, each soft rustle a gentle farewell to the communal space. The sounds of their preparations for sleep are minimal and muted, the soft whisper of straw rustling as someone settles onto their mattress. The almost inaudible sigh of warm breath as they find a comfortable position. The gentle settling of a heavy hide blanket. Each sound is absorbed by the thick timbers and the quiet air, becoming part of the longhouse's lullaby. You too begin your slow, deliberate journey back to your own bed closet, drawn by the pervasive sense of peace and the promise of profound rest. As you approach the familiar wool curtain, its rough texture feels even more comforting in the quiet dimness. You reach out, your fingers tracing the coarse fibers and gently pull it aside, a soft, familiar whisper of fabric. Stepping inside, the air within your small enclosed sanctuary feels noticeably cooler, yet deeply comforting, distinct from the lingering warmth of the central hall. You can almost feel the gentle release of the day's warmth, replaced by the cool, refreshing embrace of the night. You feel the yielding softness of the fresh straw beneath you as you slowly, deliberately settle onto your mattress, adjusting your weight, allowing your body to sink into its familiar contours. The distinct earthy scent of the straw, mingled with the faint primal aroma of the animal hides that serve as your blankets, envelops you entirely, a powerful, comforting embrace of nature. This combination of tactile sensation and pervasive smell creates an immediate and profound sense of security, a feeling of being utterly protected within your own small, dark haven. As you lie there, nestled deep within your bed closet, a profound sense of deep peace begins to wash over you. The longhouse, now almost entirely silent, feels like a vast, protective shell around you, its ancient timbers groaning softly with the subtle shifts of the night air, a familiar, comforting sound. You close your eyes, and the lingering light from the hearth, now only a faint reddish glow filtering through the thick wool curtain, fades almost completely behind your eyelids, leaving you in a deep, comforting darkness. You can feel the quiet, rhythmic beat of your own heart, a steady, internal drum that gently echoes the enduring rhythms of the longhouse itself. The sounds of the night are minimal, yet exquisitely clear, perhaps the distant hoot of an owl from the surrounding forest, a soft, almost ethereal call, or the gentle whisper of wind rustling through the leaves outside, a calming natural breath. There is no longer any sense of the external world, only this profound, enveloping stillness. Your mind begins to quiet. The thoughts of the day, the new experiences, the stories heard, all gently dissolving like mist dissipating in the morning sun. You are sinking deeper and deeper into a state of utter relaxation, your muscles loosening, your breath becoming long, slow, and even. The warmth of your blankets, the comforting embrace of the hide and wool, surrounds you, a cocoon of absolute safety when you feel completely at peace, utterly secure, and deeply connected to the ancient earth beneath you. The longhouse, your new home, holds you gently in its sleep, preparing you for the dreams that await, and the quiet renewal that comes with a night of profound, unbroken rest. You drift effortlessly, surrendering to the deep, healing power of sleep, a quiet acceptance of your place in this timeless world. As the last lingering tendrils of deep, restorative sleep begin to gently recede, a profound stillness, born of the deepest night, still clings to the air within your bed closet. Yet, Within this quietude, you find yourself stirring, a subtle awakening from the profound slumber that has embraced you. The darkness, which moments ago felt absolute and all-encompassing, a comforting blanket of oblivion, now subtly softens, yielding to a faint, ethereal glow that seems to seep through the thick, hand-woven wool of your curtain and penetrate the very ancient timbers of the longhouse walls, as if the world outside is gently breathing life back into the interior. It is a whispered promise of a new day unfolding, a quiet invitation to re-engage with existence, to slowly unfurl your awareness to the world once more. The pervasive silence, so deep during the peak of night, now holds a faint underlying tremor, a barely perceptible hum that speaks of life beginning to reawaken, a collective stir of consciousness, like a vast, slumbering organism slowly drawing its first breath of the new day, its long sleep gradually coming to an end. You feel the very first delicate stirrings within your own body, a gentle stretch that lengthens tired muscles, releasing the accumulated stillness and tension of sleep. A quiet unfolding from the profound embrace of slumber. Your awareness slowly expands beyond the immediate confines of your bed closet, reaching out, tentatively at first, to the larger communal space of the longhouse, like a ripple expanding on still water, gradually touching the edges of the vast hall. You become acutely aware of the faint, almost imperceptible shifts in temperature that signal the turning of the day. The air within your secluded, curtained space still holds the cool, crisp essence of the night, a delightful contrast that invigorates your senses. This coolness stands in perfect opposition to the subtle warmth that begins to emanate from the distant central hearth, a warmth that is slowly, patiently being coaxed back to life, its dormant embers stirred by a guiding hand, sending gentle waves of heat through the longhouse. A very faint scent, almost a ghost of a memory, begins to drift through the air, subtly yet powerfully. The familiar, subtle, sweet aroma of wood smoke, now mingling with the fresh, clean scent of the packed earth floor and the lingering, comforting presence of dried straw and the primal, earthy scent of animal hides that form your bed, a rich tapestry of natural aromas. This is the unmistakable, grounding scent of a new morning, a familiar comfort that settles deep within your senses, a quiet reassurance that all is as it should be, a subtle invitation to awaken fully. A new sound gently weaves its way into your awareness, a soft, rhythmic crackling from the distant hearth, where a flicker of rekindled flame begins its tentative, mesmerizing dance, casting soft, elusive shadows on the far wall. It is not a dramatic burst or a sudden roar that would jolt you awake, but a quiet, patient resurgence, a tender breath of life returning to the very heart of the longhouse, a primal reawakening that resonates deep within your own ancient instincts. You envision a family member, perhaps an early riser, their form softened by the dim light, kneeling by the embers, their movements deliberate and practiced, gently coaxing them back to warmth, carefully placing new kindling and small, dry pieces of seasoned wood, their breath a soft, concentrated puff. This soft, persistent sound is soon accompanied by the subtle whisper of movement, the soft, almost inaudible shuffling of bare feet on the packed earth, a gentle rustle of fabric as someone stirs in their own bed closet, a quiet turning as they adjust, or the quiet creak of a timber as the ancient structure of the longhouse subtly adjusts, stretching and settling with the warming air and the subtle changes in pressure. A living, breathing entity beginning to stir from its slumber. These are not abrupt awakenings, no sudden jolts or jarring noises that would break the spell of sleep, but rather a slow, deliberate unfolding of activity, like the first tentative unfurling of leaves in spring, or the quiet expansion of light across a sleeping landscape. a gradual return to active existence. Each sound, however faint, contributes to the growing symphony of the longhouse reawakening, a prelude to the day's gentle rhythm, a quiet promise of coming daylight. As these gentle sounds and scents grow more defined, gradually painting a clearer picture of the world outside your sanctuary, you become aware of a subtle, reassuring presence just beyond your curtain. It is the soft, rhythmic breathing of your spouse, whose presence has been a constant, quiet comfort throughout the night, a silent guardian in your shared sanctuary, their steady rhythm a peaceful counterpoint to your own, a quiet duet of slumber. You feel the gentle warmth emanating from their body, a subtle, reassuring heat that speaks of companionship, of shared existence, and of a bond that is both ancient and deeply personal, a quiet, unspoken understanding. This is not a moment of sudden intrusion or abrupt awakening, but a gradual, harmonious re-entry into the shared reality of the longhouse, a silent acknowledgement of presence, a gentle invitation to reconnect. You imagine them stirring too, perhaps letting out a soft, contented sigh as they begin to awaken, their thoughts slowly drifting towards the demands and simple joys of the day ahead, towards the collective purpose that awaits, a shared mental preparation. This shared moment of waking, though largely silent, is deeply intimate, a quiet confirmation of your bond and your shared journey in this new life, a sense of quiet communion before the day truly begins its active phase. The stillness of the early morning hours, broken only by these soft, familiar sounds, creates a profound sense of peace, a tranquil bubble of existence where time seems to slow, allowing you to simply be, to gently awaken, fully present in the moment. You choose this moment to gently stretch again, feeling the subtle tension of sleep release from your limbs, a deep, satisfying elongation of your body, as if you are reaching towards the new day. You reach out, your fingers finding the familiar and coarse wool of your bed curtain, its rough yet comforting texture feeling even more grounding and authentic in the quiet dimness of the early hour. With a slow, deliberate movement, almost a conscious ritual, you gently push it aside, allowing the soft, increasing light of the longhouse to filter into your private space, gradually illuminating your immediate surroundings. The light, though still subdued and diffused, now reveals more detail in the communal hall. The strong, dark timbers of the support beams, towering overhead like ancient trees, etched with the marks of time, the worn smoothness of the wooden furniture, benches and tables, reflecting generations of use and countless lives lived within these walls. The intricate patterns of light and shadow dancing across the packed earth floor, shifting with the awakening sun, creating ephemeral artworks. The air beyond your closet feels slightly cooler, carrying a new freshness, invigorating and clean, a gentle breath from the outside world that clears the mind. This is the quiet invitation to step forth, to rejoin the unfolding life of the longhouse, to embrace the quiet promise of a new day, to become a part of its living rhythm once more. You begin to anticipate the simple activities that await you. The warmth of the first sip of water, cooling your throat and awakening your inner senses. The subtle sense of morning preparation, a quiet prelude to the day's nourishment, hinting at the food to come. The gentle interactions with your extended family, a quiet reconnection to the human warmth and shared purpose. Each expectation is calm, unhurried, and deeply rooted in the peaceful rhythms of this ancient world, a quiet anticipation of natural flow and harmonious existence. The transition from sleep to wakefulness is seamless, a gentle drift from one state of peace to another, guided by the familiar embrace of the longhouse. You feel a quiet contentment settling over you, a readiness to begin, not with urgency, but with a profound sense of natural flow. As you gently emerge from the serene confines of your bed closet, drawing the thick wool curtain softly closed behind you with a faint, comforting rustle that dissipates quickly into the quiet air. The longhouse embraces you with the quiet, awakening energy of a new dawn. The light from the smoke holes, now more robust and defined, no longer just a suggestion, casts a gentle, diffused glow across the communal space, softening the edges of the sturdy wooden posts and illuminating the pathways worn smooth in the packed earth floor by countless footsteps over centuries. A testament to enduring life and the passage of time. The air, though still carrying the faint, comforting scent of yesterday's wood smoke and the lingering aromas of the night's shared meal, now feels crisp and invigorated, infused with the cool, fresh breath of the morning outside, a subtle chill that awakens the senses and clears the mind, preparing you for the day. This is a subtle yet profound transformation, a quiet shift from the deep stillness of night to the purposeful, unhurried activity of day, a gradual reawakening of the communal spirit, a new chapter quietly beginning to unfold. Your attention is gently drawn to the sounds and sights of the morning wash, a simple yet universally essential ritual that begins the day for many, preparing body and mind for the tasks ahead. Near a designated area, perhaps close to a natural spring that feeds into a large collection of earthenware pots, or simply where buckets of collected rainwater are stored for daily use, you see various members of the household engaged in this cleansing act. The soft, rhythmic splash of water from a wooden bucket into a smaller basin becomes a prominent, soothing sound, a liquid melody that speaks of purity and refreshment, a quiet invitation to cleanliness and renewal. You can almost feel the coolness of the water as it is carefully scooped and poured, its pristine clarity reflecting the diffused morning light, shimmering with a gentle, inviting glow, catching the light in 1,000 tiny facets, almost like liquid jewels. The quiet murmur of voices, hushed and respectful of the waking hour, accompanies these movements. A soft, almost prayer-like background hum that blends seamlessly with the natural sounds of the awakening longhouse. You observe hands, some calloused and strong from work, bearing the marks of labor and experience, others softer and more delicate, gently splashing water onto faces, the soft friction of rough linen cloths against skin, a tactile sensation that awakens the senses, invigorating and refreshing. The faint, clean scent of fresh, cool water, perhaps mingled with a subtle, earthy aroma from the porous clay basins, permeates this area, a refreshing counterpoint to the longhouse's deeper, warmer scents of wood and hide, a clean, vital breath that clears the senses. This is a moment of personal renewal, a quiet preparation for the day ahead, performed with an unhurried grace that speaks of deep-seated habit and the simple dignity of daily life, a testament to self-care in a practical world, a quiet act of purification. After the refreshing ritual of washing, your attention might gently drift to the preparation of morning drinks, another fundamental step in beginning the day's activities, a quiet way to nourish and prepare the body for the coming hours. Near the still active hearth, where the fire now burns with a more steady, inviting glow, its warmth radiating outwards in gentle waves, you might see small, individual wooden cups being carefully filled. The subtle, earthy aroma of herbal infusions begins to mingle with the omnipresent scent of wood smoke, creating a gentle, aromatic blend that soothes the senses and promises warmth, a comforting start to the day. Perhaps it is a warming brew of dried berries, gathered from the surrounding forests and meticulously preserved through the long winter, their sweetness captured. Or a decoction of root vegetables, steeped to draw out their natural sweetness and fortifying properties, providing a quiet boost of sustained energy for the tasks that lie ahead. It could even be a simpler, earthy concoction of steeped grain, designed to gently awaken the senses and provide a subtle, sustained energy for the day's labors. A comforting warmth from within that spreads slowly through your body, banishing the last vestiges of night's chill. You hear the soft, almost imperceptible clink of ceramic or wooden cups being placed on the hearth's edge to warm slightly, absorbing the gentle heat of the embers, or the gentle gurgle of water being poured from a larger vessel into smaller drinking horns or cups, each sound a testament to the simple, ordered routine of the household, a quiet melody of domesticity. The warmth radiating from these vessels held in careful hands is a quiet invitation, a comforting prelude to the day's activities, a small ritual of self-care and communal sharing, a moment of peaceful anticipation. The quiet sips, the soft setting down of cups, these small, intimate sounds contribute to the overall peaceful atmosphere, a testament to the simplicity and quiet order of their morning routine, a moment of unhurried consumption, a tranquil beginning to the day, setting a calm pace for the hours to come. As you absorb these quiet, foundational rituals, your gaze naturally shifts to encompass the next generation, observing the quiet vibrancy they bring. You notice the children beginning to stir more actively, their sleep-softened movements giving way to a more curious, engaged presence. They are not boisterous or loud. Their activity, though more energetic, adds a subtle, playful energy to the scene that is never disruptive, always blending harmoniously into the background hum of the longhouse. You might see a child carefully tending to a small, beloved wooden carving, its smooth surface worn by countless hours of play and touch, a cherished companion from childhood, imbued with silent stories of adventure in their young minds. Another might be quietly observing the older family members, their eyes wide with nascent understanding, absorbing the unspoken lessons of daily life, mimicking the purposeful actions of their elders with a profound sense of purpose and future belonging. A quiet apprenticeship. The soft, occasional chatter of their voices, low and melodic, blends seamlessly with the other sounds of the longhouse, never rising to a disruptive level. A gentle murmur of nascent life and learning, a quiet symphony of youth and innocence. Their presence is a quiet reminder of continuity, of the future generations who will inherit and carry on these ancient traditions, ensuring the enduring life of the longhouse and the preservation of their lineage, a promise stretching into the distant future. They are the quiet promise of tomorrow, learning today, rooted deeply in the wisdom of yesterday and the enduring present. The early morning in the longhouse unfolds with a profound sense of purposeful calm. Every sound, every movement, every scent contributes to a larger symphony of quiet beginnings, a harmonious unfolding of the day, a seamless transition from rest to gentle activity. There is no urgency, no frantic rush, only a steady, measured pace that reflects a deep connection to the natural rhythms of light and dark, work and rest, a life lived in tune with the earth and its seasons, a harmonious existence. You feel the subtle warmth emanating from the hearth, a gentle, pervasive heat that permeates the air, inviting you to fully embrace the awakening day, to let its peaceful energy fill you from within, a quiet warmth spreading through your being. The sounds around you, the gentle splash of water, a refreshing cascade of liquid, the quiet clink of cups, a subtle rhythm of preparation, the soft crackle of the fire, a comforting heartbeat of the home, the distant bleat of sheep from their pens, a soft, familiar sound of life affirming their presence and the longhouse's vital connection to its animals. A bond of mutual dependence, all weave together into a tapestry of comforting familiarity and profound security. You are not just observing, you are participating, breathing in the very essence of this ancient life, a quiet absorption into its timeless flow. This pervasive sense of order, of gentle routine, of quiet connection to both nature and community, instills a deep, unshakable feeling of security and well-being within you. You feel profoundly grounded, your mind clear and receptive, ready to fully absorb the quiet beauty and simple truths of the world around you, a peaceful anchor in a sea of newness. The longhouse, now fully awake in its gentle way, prepares you for the journey of the day, a journey of quiet discovery and profound connection, a peaceful embrace of your new, ancient existence as you settle deeper and deeper into a state of utter serenity, allowing the gentle rhythms of this timeless world to carry you into a state of blissful, profound calm.